It's great to have you here on the Clark Howard Show. You know, our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you so you make better financial decisions in your life. And today, I'm going to talk about those crazy ads that come on one after another pitching some medicine, some pharmaceutical that's going to absolutely change your life. What's really going on behind the curtain with all those ads? And also, I've heard from so many people so frustrated who took out mortgages when rates were higher than they are now, but they're not low enough to refi. What can you do? We're going to talk about a money-saving opportunity here that will save you a lot in interest cost over time. Right now, I want to talk about those ads. You know, you'll hear me talk about TV ads always in the fall. Why? Well, because after the Super Bowl, I don't watch TV again till the NFL starts in September each year. I'll watch a little college football in August, but I'm really an NFL guy. And man, those drug ads, one after another. So it's funny because I remember when all the ads during football games were for cars and beer. Today, they're the cell phone carriers, the drug companies. I'm trying to think who else might be advertising during football. But who am I missing? Oh, well, this year, there are a lot of political ads endlessly. Yeah. Your mic's not on, by the way. Nobody heard what you said. You want to try again?
Political ads there were many political ads.
There sure were. Wow. So truth in advertising, right? The political ads don't have it. You know what else doesn't have it? These drug ads. Are they so funny? You'll have somebody in an upbeat voice say, and this will do this and that and the other for you, and it's just absolutely great. And by the way, it will cause liver damage and maybe heart failure and blah, blah, blah. And they say the same upbeat kind of thing when they're doing the disclosures about all the bad things that can happen. So this is wild. So there was a study done that found that the ones with the lowest levels of added benefit spend more on advertising to patients to try to get you to go into a doctor's office and say, Doc, what about blah, blah, blah for this? You know, I have this condition, and I saw this stuff about how this is the drug that's going to be my nirvana. It's going to just make everything great in my life. And so you notice how they say in those ads, ask your doctor. Okay, so there's so much information available on the internet, but information is not necessarily truth, not necessarily fact. And so we can go down a rabbit hole with medical stuff in so many different ways, where you can Google or whatever search engine you use, or use new AI tools that are available to you, and you'll find all this stuff that says with certainty this, that, or the other will be the greatest. But the problem is advertising, just as what you might find on the internet, is paid propaganda. And, you know, a pharmaceutical company spends a ton developing one of those meds. And sometimes the meds just don't deliver the promise that they hoped for. It's not like a pharmaceutical company was trying to make something and spend all that money in research and development, that they were trying to make something that wouldn't really work. No, they were trying to make something that really would make a difference in your life. But if it just doesn't have the effect they hope for, they're still going to try to recover that research and development cost, and they're going to promote it on television to try to get a doctor to write you the script. But I don't recommend that. I recommend that you try to find independent information in medical journals evaluating that med before you get too excited from the TV commercial, and that you rely upon the expertise of your doctor as well before you focus too much on what that TV ad said about how suddenly your life is going to be so much better.
But may cause like uncontrolled bleeding from your eyeballs and sudden death and blah, 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 blah.
Isn't that stuff crazy?
So crazy. Okay, Christopher in New York says, I'm a teacher with about 18 months before I ditch work and follow my dream of traveling the world doing Ironman races.
Wow.
I know. I'll be 60 when I retire. I'll have a pension income, which will be a little over $60K. I also have been funding a 403B with T. Rowe Price. I know not one of your favorite children, but the best that was available to me from my employer.
But they are a good company. Make no mistake. T. Rowe Price is a good organization. A little more expensive typically.
I started a Roth with Fidelity, which now has, and he says the balance. Last year, my employer added Vanguard as an additional provider servicing our 403B. I opened an account with them, started putting half my 403B withholdings into it, with the other half still going to T. Rowe Price. The funds I have with T. Rowe Price have expense ratios that range from 0.25 to 0.65%. The funds I have with Vanguard range from 0 to 0.1%. However, the Vanguard account has a $5 fee taken out every month. It really irks me seeing that fee, but I think I'm still better off moving my account to them. What do you think?
So the $5 fee is significant when your balance is small and becomes almost irrelevant when you develop real balances in. All right, so the T. Rowe Price thing. T. Rowe Price is mostly actively managed funds. Vanguard, mostly passive funds or index. So you have managers, professional managers, that are guiding the investment choices in the T. Rowe Price funds. That's why their fees, as a general rule, are higher. Very respected company. So I have no problem with the strategy you're employing, which is half actively managed through T. Rowe Price because the fees generally are still decent, and the other half in the Vanguard ones that are like autopilot kind of investing that have virtually zero cost other than the $5 monthly junk fee. So I think what you're doing is great, and I want to congratulate you on doing the Ironman competitions, also creating the opportunity to retire, having saved so much money, and being able to do so. And I wish you continued success. Have you ever done an Ironman?
Oh, no. Those are some tough people.
I used to long ago, far away, after I retired the first time, I was doing, I never did an actual organized biathlon, but I was doing 2-mile swims every day and 20-mile bike rides every day.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I was fit then.
All right, Ken in Oregon wrote in with this. My large employer is switching my health benefits this year to something called, and I gave you the name of it.
Give me the name. Go ahead, just say it.
Aon, I think is how you say it, Benefit Experience, through BenefitSolver. Have you heard of this? We are being told it will be to our benefit, but I'm skeptical.
So nothing to be happy or unhappy about, specifically having, I always call them Aon. They are a very, very large financial services company, and this is one of their areas, is managing benefits, and I think they're not a scam or anything like that. I think they're a perfectly fine mainstream choice. And you'll see with the benefits made available, if the offerings available through them are inferior, superior, or kind of in the middle of what you already had, but nothing too much to be freaked out about them providing your benefits moving forward.
Andrew in New York says, I've found when going into a brick and mortar store and I pick up moderate to expensive items like toner or paper, the price that's listed in the store is often higher than the same price on their website. I then show the cashier the price on the web and they give me the lower price. Some places even do a price match against other stores. I did that when I purchased a new MacBook at Best Buy and was able to save multiple hundreds of dollars by showing them a nationwide competitor's price. A good reminder, I thought.
Yeah, and so this is true at many retailers. Walmart's the most perplexing because Walmart, depending on local market conditions, the price on Walmart.com for store pickup in that store will often be far cheaper than what the price is on the shelf in Walmart. But they will not price match in the store. If you say, well, Walmart.com has this, you have to actually stand there, see the price is cheaper on Walmart.com, order it for store pickup, and then go back to the store the next day or later that day for store pickup.
Sounds like you have experience doing that.
I do have experience doing that. And I've asked, why do you do this? He said, well, the best explanation I got from a store manager is there's two different customers. There's the people who just come in and shop, and there are the people that are comparison shopping.
Then there's you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like what a lot of retailers do. I like what happened at Best Buy. They say, okay, we verified that the price is cheaper elsewhere. We're going to match it. And that's important, price credibility. And I'm always sitting there on my phone when I'm in a store and I see something that's on sale and I'm looking, is it a sale or a non-sale sale? By seeing what the prices are at other retailers, and then I give them the offer to match. If they say no, then I go buy elsewhere, either online or physically. Because we work hard for our money, and you know, when you save money on a purchase, you're saving more than it even looks like. Because remember, you're putting extra money back in your pocket, but you're not paying additional tax for that. Because, you know, it's not like you had to go work extra hours to make up that difference paying more. You're not having to work as much and you're paying less. Does that make sense? I hope so. Coming up ahead, your mortgage may feel like a giant burden because when you bought and the mortgage rate you got, but you're not in a position with the marketplace to refi that mortgage. I have another strategy that'll save you money over time so much it will stun you. That's coming straight ahead. So there's a segment of folks who bought a home in tough circumstances. The prices had already had their run up from 19 to 23 and kind of leveled off. Some markets have gone down, some have gone up in 24. But you bought at a time that prices were higher, mortgage rates much higher, and you're not in a position to refi. The refi time will come. But if you have a mortgage that's plus 7%, somewhere between 7 and near 8%, which people who bought in recent times may have had, and you see all that money going out the door in interest, and even when rates go lower, it may be difficult to refi because you may not have enough equity. Well, if your budget can afford it, there is a strategy that I used to talk about all the time before the Great Recession. In fact, I'd say it was something I talked about for 20 plus years, was the advantage of paying extra, whatever you can afford every month on that mortgage. So with your mortgage, either with an electronic coupon or very few lenders still have paper coupons, there's a box that allows you to pay additional principal. And additional principal paid when you have a higher market interest rate on that mortgage, man, that's powerful. Because every dollar you can pay extra in that month, every dollar eliminates ever having to pay interest on that dollar again. And over time, you reduce effectively the length of the mortgage and the total interest cost of that mortgage. So it's best if you do it consistently. Whatever amount you can afford to pay every month extra, pay it. If it's $25, $250, $100, $500, whatever it is, when you have a higher interest rate mortgage, it's very much to your advantage to pay additional principal. And you got to monitor your account online to make sure the lender is properly applying your extra payment, your extra principal payment as part of your mortgage, applying it to principal reduction. Some lenders will put it in a suspension file and hope you don't notice and give you no benefit in interest for prepaying. But if you say, hey, wait a minute, that was additional principal payment, I need you to apply it now. That's why you check it every month to make sure it's being applied properly. All right, so why is this something that I didn't talk about for, more than 10 years? Because when the Federal Reserve was using tools of its trade that are not normal tools of the trade and artificially subsidize mortgage rates by pushing them down to those crazy low rates we had year after year after year. Now rates are normalized by market forces. So there was not an advantage to prepaying when somebody had a mortgage of starting with a 1, 2, 3, maybe even a 4, because the opportunities elsewhere with that money were greater. At 7+%, it's hard to beat a prepayment of principal on a mortgage because the return you're getting for every dollar you pay towards principal is a guaranteed 7+% on your money, which is a great thing. Christa?
All right, let's go to
what
questions.
What in the world is that you're drinking?
Oh, gosh.
All right, we got to show this to the YouTube audience. Okay. What is this cool can creamy root beer Zevia?
Uh-huh. It's a soda sweetened with stevia.
Smells like root beer.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. Thanks for that show and tell.
That was really a crazy looking can. I hate to even ask what that costs per can.
I have no idea.
Oh, that's the worst answer you could give me.
Luz in Georgia says, I recently went to a dentist to see if I could get dental implants. Before I saw the doctor, I was told they could see if I qualify for financing. I had seen a sign that said something like, apply for financing, it won't affect your credit, so I gave oral consent. After my consultation and after the cost of the procedure, I decided not to use their services, but a couple of days later, I got a notification that I was approved and got a credit card from this health company in the amount of $10,000. The dentist office said they cannot do anything about it, and I don't want to open an open credit account of any amount. What can I do to reverse this?
So also, I hope you're not, Luz, trying to buy a home like we were just talking about, because this is a recent hard inquiry on your credit. You want no hard inquiries on your credit in the 6 months leading up to trying to get a mortgage for a home, since I was just talking about mortgages. So this is a real problem at car dealers, now at any kind of medical or dental practice, any kind of cosmetic place you go to. They will have, there's a term for what those tent things are where they have apply for credit today. And the latest pitch is no hard pull. That's what they're saying when they say it won't affect your credit. So you do the inquiry and they say, yeah, you're good for credit. And you think you're done. But unfortunately, what keeps happening, and I keep hearing over and over and over again, is people are approved and granted the credit, which is a different thing than what you were told. You were told it won't affect your credit applying. What they don't tell you is that simply by applying, if you're approved, bam, you have new credit. And almost certainly when you did the thing, it was probably on a tablet or something like that, it said in the terms and conditions that if approved, you will be granted this credit, which then does exactly what you didn't want, which creates the hard inquiry on your credit and a new establishment of a line of credit. And so know that at a car dealer, when they say, oh, well, we just need your social security number for you doing a test drive or something like that. While you're out doing the test drive, they're running your credit because they make all their money on the sale of a vehicle, new vehicle, on financing. They don't really make any significant amount of money on the sale of the vehicle itself. So when they want your social security number somewhere or the last four of it or anything like that, say, nope, can't do that, and stay strong on that.
So should Luz at this point close this, like call the company and close the line of credit?
So it's junk credit. I guess the reason you would close it is so that if somebody ever tried to impersonate you and ran up that credit or anything like that, maybe so. Because, any kind of single line or monoline credit like that that's not a general use credit card is considered to be junk credit and is not much benefit to you. So yes, I would close it right away.
And I might also, she did apply for it, but maybe try to dispute it and see if they'll take it off the credit report.
Not going to be successful with that.
Okay. Bummer. All right, James in Florida says, a year or so ago, I put most of our investment money into and I gave you the money market fund when it was yielding
Schwab money market fund.
5.25%, now currently 5.1%.
Which is a great rate today.
My reasoning was when the U.S. federal debt hit north of $30 trillion and was quickly rising, I just could not see how this already overvalued stock market could continue to rise without some severe correction. Yet, to my amazement, it has, even though it seems to violate all financial rules of the laws of the universe as I perceive them. Now that I've been listening to you, I understand that index funds for a knucklehead like me that knows nothing about investing is the best strategy over time. Because of the reason listed above, I'm loath to jump into any index fund, whether in stocks or bonds at the present time. Am I out of my mind in my reasoning?
So, okay, the market is, by historical measures, significantly overvalued. And when I say market, I mean U.S. stocks. The worldwide stock market, not really. U.S. stocks are. So I addressed this in a different way on a recent podcast, explaining why I'm so diversified and I have meaningful holdings overseas and overseas index funds, because even though that has been a bad play for a good long time, the reality is that values what the underlying value of a company is overseas and what people are paying for the shares is far, far lower than what it is here. And it's kind of like ballast for my portfolio. It's diversification for my portfolio. And so index funds in America, overwhelmingly people only buy U.S.-oriented index funds. And that's fine. People are most comfortable investing close to home. I step out of that comfort zone and I diversify wider. You also should consider diversifying over time. You've been freaked out by values. So if you gradually, month by month, put money back into the index funds that you choose, you will be dollar cost averaging. So when the market takes its inevitable dive, which is always going to happen, there will be corrections, there will be bear markets. During a slump, the money, if you go steady as you go putting it in every month, you'll be buying more shares when the market declines. And then when it recovers, you will benefit from that. So if you jumped out with both feet, took everything out, And now I'm saying don't jump back in with both feet. Instead, dip the toes in the water and do so over the next, let's say, 24 months to 36 months. Divide the money up and put it in every month like clockwork. Then I think you'll be more at peace with what might happen with the shorter term direction of the market. But over time, markets have a lot more up years than they have down years, which is why I want you invested for the long term and not sitting in a money market account.
Ruth in Massachusetts says, I have 36 south-facing solar panels and I live in Mass. There is a program through the National Grid where I can buy a storage battery with a 0% loan for 7 years, but in return, I allow them to, quote, discharge my battery during peak demand and get paid $275 per kilowatt. They say the average price people get is $1,500 per year. Is this a good deal?
Okay, rule number one with any of these contracts for energy saving things for the home is not what you're told, it's what's in the contract. And saying that they're going to pay you $275 per kilowatt, that is in the most extreme cases, because what they're talking about is peaking power. So when normal times are going on, there's plenty of energy available at that moment, because energy prices move on the wholesale market pretty much moment by moment. The price you receive per kilowatt is quite low. But when they're at peak demand, the price can go way, 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 way up. And odds are that the promotional material is based on what the most extreme beneficial case to you would be. I don't like these kind of things where you would be better off paying interest for a period of time and owning that battery, that storage battery backup for your home, owning it free and clear without having any obligation to discharge that battery repeatedly. Because what that doesn't account for is that you're paying potentially when the sun isn't shining well, you're paying through kilowatts coming in to refill that battery, which they're then taking at whatever the then market rate is. That's not a good bet for you. And storage batteries are getting cheaper and cheaper. They're going to become totally a common thing that people do. I would rather you own it free and clear and not be in any convoluted arrangement. The 0% financing is not worth it for you to be tied to them. So if you've got a good argument at your home to have a storage battery, just buy the thing, plain and simple, and comparison shop the size and price from various vendors. And by the way, the bigger question we're asked repeatedly is about these weird deals with solar panels where they get you in a really odd contract leasing the panels and telling you they're going to be free. Don't ever believe it. Don't ever believe it. Believe this, though. We're here to serve you in so many different ways with your wallet, whether it's here on the podcast, our YouTube show, Clark.com, ClarkDeals.com, free one-on-one advice through the Team Clark Consumer Action Center, 30 hours a week. You can see how to do that at Clark.com/CAC. Our social media, did I mention our newsletters? What I do in markets where you see me on TV or hear me on radio. It's all about you taking control of your wallet so that you have the ability to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off. And we'll be with you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.